Hey, welcome back T-Rex family. In my last video, I told you about how a simple nail in my tire turned into a 3-week Campagna T-Rex adventure that involved powder coating, custom color codes, and a whole lot of patience. A bunch of you reached out to me and said, man, I've been there, or that's exactly what scares me about owning one of these. So today, I want to do something useful and talk about the biggest lesson I learned from that experience. Not as a mechanic, not as an expert, but as a fellow T-Rex owner who just wants to keep riding and avoid unnecessary headaches. If you already own a T-Rex or you're thinking about owning one, this video is for you. The first and biggest lesson is simple. Never trust a jack alone, ever. When I lifted my T-Rex to remove the wheel, I placed solid blocks under the frame with softeners as a backup. At the time, it felt like overkill, but I didn't anticipate this repair taking weeks. And weeks later, when I came back, the jack had slowly lost pressure, which is completely normal. There isn't a jack that you can buy that wouldn't behave this way. But the T-Rex was resting safely on those blocks. If I hadn't done that, this would have been a very different story. Three-wheelers distribute weight very differently. Things shift. Hydraulics lead down. Blocking the frame or using proper jack stands isn't optional. It's mandatory. That one extra step saved me from a catastrophic mistake. The second lesson is to have your paint and powder coat codes on hand before you need them. When I bought my T-Rex, I asked my dealer, Duran Burnside, for every paint and powder coat code associated with the vehicle. And at the time, it felt like a nice to have kind of list, but as it turns out, it was completely essential. Color matching powder coat by eye is a gamble at best, especially on a vehicle this unique. Having the exact code meant the wheel came back perfect. Not close enough, not it'll pass, it's perfect. My recommendation, create a small digital folder with paint and powder coat codes, torque specs, and dealer and specialty shop contacts. Future you will thank you. The third lesson I was reminded of is choosing shops by integrity and not speed. This experience really enforced something I already believed. Good shops aren't the ones that never make mistakes. They're the ones that own them. A tire shop could have easily brushed off the powder coat damage or minimized it. Instead, they immediately said, we're going to make this right no matter what it costs. They even assigned their most senior technician when it came time to reinstall the tire. If you own a niche vehicle like a T-Rex, honesty and care matter more than turnaround time, even at the cost of your ride season. So find a shop that communicates clearly, respects your equipment, and takes responsibility when things go sideways. Those relationships are priceless. I also learned that powder coating takes time for a reason. Another big takeaway, don't rush things like powder coating. It's not paint, it's a process. There's blasting, prep, application, and curing. And skipping or rushing any of those steps shows up later as peeling, discoloration, or uneven finish. Waiting a few extra weeks felt really painful during this ride season, but the result was a wheel that looked factory new and matches perfectly. And I learned that sometimes patience is a part of proper maintenance. It's important to know when not to ride. This one might be the least fun lesson, but it's an important one. Just because the weather looks almost rideable doesn't mean that it is, especially on a T-Rex. Cold pavement, cold tires, and gusty winds are not a great combination for 3 racing wheels. Could I have ridden anyways? Probably. Would it have been enjoyable or smart? Definitely not. Buying a T-Rex is anything but responsible, but part of responsible ownership is knowing when to park it and wait for better conditions, even when the machine is begging to be driven. If you're new to this brand, understand that owning a Campagna T-Rex isn't about avoiding problems. It's about preparing well, choosing the right people, slowing down when it matters, and learning from every experience. If this video saves even one of you from a preventable mistake, it was worth making. If you've learned any hard lessons from owning a T-Rex, or any niche vehicle for that matter, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear it, and I know that others will too. If you're enjoying this kind of real-world ownership content, consider subscribing. More rides, more lessons, and hopefully fewer nails in the tires. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Remember to be nice and ride safely.